Are you serious? Are you serious? This is a prophecy alert. A prophecy alert. The activists are carrying out the Passover sacrifice ritual. They're doing it not on the Temple Mount, but at the foot of the Temple Mount. If you go in Jerusalem, if you go through the Dung Gate and you're on your way to the Wailing Wall or to the Temple Mount, you have to go through security. On your way up that ramp to get to the security, as you're walking up from the Dung Gate, to the right is an open area where some of the ruins are there from the days back of the Second Temple. It's right in that area. They set up a tent and platform and what have you, and performed the sacrifice of the lamb for the Passover lamb. This is the first time this has happened at the foot of the Temple Mount, folks, in 2,000 years. Matter of fact, the ceremony that included the slaughtering of the Passover lamb and roasting it in the fire, a demonstration of the work, was done by the senior national religious rabbis. MK, member of Knesset, Yehuda Glick was present. He was there, but hundreds of people came, and hundreds of activists and supporters attended the annual exercise of the Passover sacrifice. But this is the first time ever it was done next to the southern wall at the foot of the Temple Mount. Matter of fact, in the past years, the ceremony had always been conducted in various locations in far from the Temple Mount area itself, such as in the Old City or Mount of Olives or some of these other locations at the entrance of Jerusalem. The fact that both the Israeli police and the Jerusalem municipalities permitted this to conduct this ceremony in the location that it happened indicates a situation changing. The Temple Mount activists are certainly growing in popularity in the movement in Israel. As I look at it from a prophetic standpoint, if you read Daniel 9:27, when it talks about the abomination of desolation, it says that, and I'll read this for you. And we've got all this Middle East peace discussion going on right now. We know Jared Kushner has been holding numerous meetings. Just 2 weeks ago, he had representatives from all of the Arabic nations, many of the European nations, Canada, the United States, at the White House, and the Israelis were there, talking about humanitarian aid to help the Palestinian people. And certainly this is part of that covenant with many, the peace agreement that's being worked on. But listen to what it says. Here's a prophecy alert. Daniel 9:27 says, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week." This is going to represent 7 years. "And in the midst of that week, or 3.5 years, or 42 months, or 1,260 days, which is mentioned, or times, and half time, which is mentioned all through the Bible, at the midst of that week, or in the middle of that week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease." For a sacrifice ritual to stop, it would have to have been started or be in process of being done. So it will stop it. "And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate." There's a lot of different theologians and biblical scholars and eschatologists or eschatology studying of the scriptures would say that scripture might mean something different. But I can tell you that is the scripture in my opinion, the covenant of many, of course, the 7-year treaty or 7-year covenant with many that the Bible talks about. But it says that the sacrifice would have to stop. Well, for it to stop, it has to start. And now it sounds like they're starting at least the beginning process of it. Although the temple's not there, so it's not official, they are beginning the process. For the first time ever, they sacrificed a Passover lamb at the foot of the Temple Mount. And this is the first time this has ever happened. according to, and Rabbi Yehuda Glick said, I'm happy that we are having it here at the foot of the Temple Mount, said Rabbi Yehuda Glick. He told the Jerusalem Post, he said, quote, we're started here over a decade and a half ago. They had started doing it with just a handful of people, but now we have hundreds of people coming. Also, the Temple Mount activist movement said he was thrilled with the event, adding that when the 10,000 people attend, we will do it on the Temple Mount itself. Left-wing activists protested against the authorities who allowed the event to take place in this location. Like he said, it's been going on for some time, folks, just not that close proximity to the Temple Mount. So the official police approval to allow the slaughtering of the Passover lamb, an official national religious site there at the Davison Center and the foot of the Temple Mount and the Al-Aqsa Mosque is considered outrageous by some groups. It indicates an official state sponsoring of the ceremony. And so what I'm reporting to you here is when you see these things going on, when you see these, they washed feet, washed their hands, and did all the different things that they do, part of the process. But what I'm saying is this is certainly a prophecy alert. I'm alerting you to this, and I want to thank Billy Nitrain for getting this information to me. But I'm alerting you to this to let you know that this has never happened before. Also, there's never been a half shekel minted since the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, and that was just minted. I actually held it in my hand last week when I was visiting Brother Irvin Baxter. They only minted 1,000 of these initially. They're going to mint more, but right now they've only made 1,000 of these half shekels that have Donald Trump, President Trump, and King Cyrus on the coin. It's made of silver, pretty heavy, and it's called the Temple coin. And there's only 1,000 of them right now. And Brother Baxter has one, and I got to hold it and look at it. So you've got that going on. There's excavations going on that hadn't been going on in almost 30 years that have restarted. There's all kinds of things. I mean, the Temple Institute has brand new replicas. Okay, the menorah, the golden menorah, the golden shewbread table, the golden altar, a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. All kinds of the high priest garment, the breastplate with the original. They found 12 precious stones. It took them 11 years to find the last stone. The silver trumpets are there. They've got, I'm telling you, folks, now they're having the sacrifice. They have been doing the sacrifice always on the Passover or preparing for the Passover. They've always been doing it off-site in different locations, but now they moved it just all the way right there to the foot of the Temple Mount. So what's getting ready to happen, you're getting ever so close. And this is the 70th year of Israel being a nation. And President Trump just declared Jerusalem the capital of Israel. And the United States is moving its embassy to Jerusalem and going to cut the ribbon on this on May 14th, 2018, on the 70th anniversary of Israel as a nation that was passed by the United Nations. All of this is happening right now. This is an incredible new event, another prophetic event. So what I'm doing as an evangelical pastor and prophecy teacher, what I'm doing is telling you when things happen that these are the things that shows you just how close we are in these last days, just how close we are now in these end times. And many of you aren't saved. Now, I'm going to talk about this during the live broadcast today. Please don't miss my program. It starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. You do not want to miss tonight's broadcast. It will be powerful as there's a lot going on. Are you serious? I'll see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Are you saved? Wow.